Steal my iPod. Fuck your laptop. A story from 2007.
I posted this on Petty Revenge.
But after thinking about it, it actually may be better suited here. Imagine being in high school,
back in the latter days of George Bush, and finally buying that iPod of your dreams after saving up your allowance and the money you made around the neighborhood doing random ass work and lifeguarding at the local pool. Yup.
That was me.
And I was that douchebag 14-year-old who would make sure you knew I had one of the better iPods.
One that could play video.
It was the latest Nano if I remember right. Simpler times.
But every story needs an antagonist. My sister happened to find that role many times.
We are very close now.
But back then,
it wasn't so rosy. She was a teenager as well and spent most of those years resenting me. If I had something nice.
Fuck you for having that. I was quite protective of my precious iPod. She raised quite the shitstorm when my parents refused to buy her one. Your brother saved his money.
We didn't pay for it. We are not stopping you from buying one too if you save your money. That
was their attitude toward any luxury that his kids wanted. Even up to that time when buying a first car was on the table.
We each had to buy our own.
It built character and taught responsibility. Well, that iPod goes missing one day at home when I knew damn well I had left it charging at the family computer.
I left it unattended. My parents confirmed they did not touch it.
And all eyes were on my sister.
I'll jump ahead here. As it turned out, she had indeed taken it and had one of her friends temporarily store it until the heat was off of her. She knew my parents would essentially strip search her. After this unraveled,
one of my buddies saw her with the iPod at school several days later.
It was time for payback.
Back then,
I liked to think of myself as a bona fide hacker. That's right, I knew all about batch files and how to open command prompt.
Don't fucking cross me. You have no idea what I'm capable of.
Yeah, anyway. We don't talk about those dark days. But I actually did know enough to copy, paste some destructive commands into scripts.
Using del and reg delete commands and the like.
In the days of Windows XP, this would essentially require reinstalling the OS.
I also was aware of a program called bat2exe which could package your batch files and associated files it would call from the same directory
into a normal X file.
And you could pick an icon to slap on that X if you had the ICO file on hand.
It doesn't take a genius. Because as much as I thought I was one,
I wasn't. To devise a plan here,
I put a script together with the worst shit I could muster
and gave it the Internet Explorer icon. This went on to my sister's computer, which was an old Pentium M laptop which barely had enough S to load MySpace at the time. My hacker abilities allowed me to log into the administrator account by booting into safe mode or something and simply replacing the iExplorer.x main file with my science experiment. I believe I had it to where it actually opened the real Internet Explorer in parallel,
so I could deny this more easily.
Fast forward to that magical moment. She's home from color guard practice and is ready for an evening full of shitty webcam photos that
use every mid-2000s effect ever created.
But before she can upload them, disaster. The screen resolution goes tits up.
And the color profile is 16 colors for some reason. Random pop-up messages every few seconds. Microsoft Windows has detected a giant cunt. Please consider a system upgrade, and stuff like that.
Your hard drive is jammed with peanut butter.
Restart required.
The whole script plays out and she's left with a paperweight until someone can get around to sorting it. Unfortunately, the computer guy in the family took quite a while to get around it. My dad knew damn well that I had something to do with this, even if he didn't understand it fully.
He made my sister apologize to me before I helped her with her laptop and made her buy me a new case for it, after she threw away the one I had to try and make it less identifiable.
Well, that's the story, folks.
I have a video from 8+ years ago of this script running in a virtual machine if anyone wants to see it.
Hope 2021 is off to a decent start for you. Feeling supersonic? Edit. Here's the video. I made this after submitting this to ProRevenge in 2013.
I forgot completely I had done that back then.
My old account got banned in 2013 because I told someone on shit Reddit says to grow up or something.
This version used the Chrome icon and I remember tweaking it a little so it would execute most of the payload on reboot. I had uploaded it at one point after some people requested a copy. I can try to find it,
but I am almost certain it was on the external hard drive that died after I dropped it years ago. Attitude to people asking what happened to the iPod. I got it back after learning from my buddy that she was going to have it on her.
She was in a world of shit from my very traditional discipline that child parents in addition to
her laptop being a boat anchor for a few weeks.
Can you post that video, please? Did you ever get your iPod back? Well written. With a sense of eye rolling at the writer's own self for how smart they thought they were.
And glad to hear that the relationship with your sister has improved. Well done.
Both the revenge and the retelling of it. Back then,
I like to think of myself as a bona fide hacker.
That's right, I knew all about batch files and how to open command prompt.
Don't fucking cross me.
You have no idea what I'm capable of. I feel this in my soul.
The expert hacker misspelled his own name. Thumbs up medium skin tone. Thumbs up medium skin tone.
Second thought, I'm sorry.
I'll call you whatever you want, your majesty.
Please spare me.
Hope it doesn't start with that Pornhub opening theme. No. What happened to the iPod? I love the revenge, but please tie up that string, haha.
What happened to the iPod? I'd still be pissed AF if I never got it back. I love this story because it so perfectly encapsulates not just being a teenager,
but a teenager of a certain era. I suspect I'm a wee bit older than you. My first iPod was a classic 160 gigabytes. But the feeling of being the only tech guy in the house and the sweet revenge opportunities it
presented were priceless.
Although now I have to instruct my dad over the phone how to swap HDMI cables.
What goes around comes around, I guess. Haha, brilliant. That is sibling rivalry at its best.
Perfect revenge. Amazing story, thumbs up. Haha, this post brings back so many memories. Video please.
So, what happened to the iPod?
What happened to the iPod? Quote, was an old Pentium M laptop which barely had enough S to load MySpace at the time. Best string of words ever constructed.
I was a security guard years ago,
where the office got upset that everyone would browse the net when we were alone.
So they had IT disable the internet on our main login profile.
It took about 2 days before everyone realized we still had the net if we used our own login accounts.
But as that account was just for emails, we had no access to the camera system. We had one jackass guard at that time.
Might still be there too.
That would boss people around, eat their lunches, and browse the net half his shift ignoring the cameras. One night he forgot to sign out when he went to raid the fridges. And I was left stationed at that entrance until he returned. Did y'all know you can put the .bat file in the startup folder too? An easy, shutdown RT300 command that runs every time he logs into his account.
Restarts the computer 5 minutes after he logs in every time. Did you study CS in college?
Just watched the video. It was fantastic.
Now to the program again. This time with modern memes and cliches.
I prefer to know the asses I'm working on, when I do my random ass work, that is.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.